You found this video for a reason. It found you. And you probably don't even realize how important that is right now. Because right now you're standing at an invisible line. On one side is a familiar life where you seem to be trying, but everything stays the same. On the other is you, who has finally realized that later doesn't work anymore. Don't close this video, because you'll get one simple practice at the end that's guaranteed to turn you on. Your brain, your body, and your intention. This practice is not from books. It's from life, from pain, from waking up, and it will work. But only if you get to it. Look, most people don't lose because of a lack of talent. They lose quietly because of habits that slowly extinguish them. It's the diseases of thinking, not the ones that hit you in the forehead, but the ones that swaddle you like a soft blanket. The ones that whisper, "It's okay. We'll figure it out later. Right now, just lie down." Everybody lives like this. And while you're lying there, the day turns into a year. Fatigue becomes a way of life. And you yourself look like a person who forgot what he wanted to do in the first place. But today you will remember, because I'm going to tell you why 97% of people never get out of this quagmire, and how 3% think, act, and move differently. It's not about magic or motivational speeches. It's about the architecture of your life. It's about the inner economy, about how to take yourself into your own hands and stop hoping things will work themselves out. If you watch to the end, you'll get more than an answer. You'll get the step that will start to change your finances, energy, and focus. Decide now. You just watched it, or you've entered the point of no return. Because at the end of this video, you're going to get turned on. For real. When you look at a rich man, don't look at his clothes. Don't count the zeros in his accounts. Look at the head. Because the difference between poor and rich starts not in the wallet, but in the operating system. 97% of people have an old, buggy program. I earn, I spend. Then maybe something will change. It's what keeps them in a vicious cycle. Work, spending, tired, waiting for Friday. And that's the way it's been all their lives. Now look at the remaining 3%. They're no different on the outside. They're the same people. No magic buttons. But their firmware is different. They live by a different principle. First I pay myself, then I pay the rest of the world. Wealth is a mindset, not income. Money is a mirror of your decisions. And if you give it to everyone but yourself first every time, you're letting the universe know that your future isn't a priority. A lot of people say, "I'll start saving when I make more money." In the meantime, someone with the same income is already buying stocks, building a reserve, and investing in education. Not because they can, but because they decided to. You won't become rich when you get more money. You become rich when you treat it differently. That's it. It all starts with the mindset. It is the root and money is only the fruit. Principle 2. Pay yourself first. This rule is non-negotiable. It's like gravity. If you want it, accept it. If you don't want it, live on the rubble. Pay yourself first means set aside a portion of every income, no matter how small. Not at the end of the month, not when there's left over, but the first minute the money comes in. Jim Rohn said, "If you can't put away $1 from 10, you won't put away 1,000 from 10,000. When you pay yourself first, you're telling your brain, "I am the master. I'm not surviving. I am building." Every dollar like that is a brick in your fortress. Principle 3. Every dollar is a soldier. Imagine this. Every dollar you spend is like a soldier you're either sent to fight for your future or flush down the toilet for something immediate. The 97% have all their soldiers dying fighting for coffee, sushi, and things they'll forget about in a day. And for 3%, every dollar works, brings profit, triggers growth. Even if it's 10 rubles, they put it to work. Savings, investments, knowledge. Soldiers work and return with reinforcements. You are either the commander of your financial army or a boy with a paper sword on the field of adult warfare. Be honest. How many times have you bought not because you needed to, but because you wanted to? A cup of coffee that energizes your mood, a jacket that you deserve, a takeaway because you're too lazy to cook. And then there's the empty wallet, the guilt, and the promise of, "I'll start counting on Monday." That's how 97% of people destroy their future, a little bit at a time. every day. Not with drugs, not with catastrophes. It's the little things. Pain, fatigue, stress. And then there's the purchase. Not because it's necessary, but because it's a little joy. But here's the truth. That joy lasts 15 minutes, and the cost is years. Money becomes a quick way to patch the hole inside. Only the hole doesn't go away, and there's less and less money. That's how 97% live. They buy feelings, not values. They trade their energy, their time, their resources for tiny amounts of dopamine. The rich don't spend, they invest. The difference is simple. Emotional spending, I'm tired, I deserve it. Investment, I'm tired, so I need to rebuild the system. One has impulse, the other has intent. The 3% pause before spending. They ask, does this give me results or just relief? And they choose not relief, but development. Sometimes a rich person looks greedy, but he is not greedy. He is conscious. He chooses freedom tomorrow, not the nice-to-haves of today. Ask yourself, does this bring me closer to my goal or farther away? This question is like a cold shower. Simple, tough, awakening. If you asked it before every purchase, does this item bring me closer to my dreams? Does this spending make me stronger? Is this an investment in my version of me in 5 years? Or just a way to forget myself for an evening? If the answer is no, you know what to do. You're not just building a bank account, you're building your identity. And with every purchase, you're either confirming, I am a man of discipline, or I'm a man of kickbacks. The choice is yours every time. Have you ever asked yourself the question, where the hell did my money go? There was 1,000 on the card, there's 73 left. And it's not like you bought anything, it's the classic 97%. Life is like a leaky bucket. Money comes in, money goes out. And it's like you've been doing something, like you've been trying, but the result is zero. Not even zero. No energy, no confidence. And that's because most people live in the dark. They don't see, they don't count, they don't fixate. They are groping their lives. Principle 7. Money is lost in unawareness. You can't control what you don't track. It's like trying to burn fat without knowing what you're eating, or driving to another city with a navigator that says, well, somewhere that way. Most are afraid to look at the truth, afraid to open an account, to look at the statement, to see where the energy is really leaking out. They say, I don't want to be a slave to numbers. But they are already slaves, not of numbers, but of chaos. Principle 8. Honest financial accounting equals power over your reality. The 3% do things differently. They are not nerds. They are not financial maniacs. They just know clarity equals power. They know how much they earn, how much they spend, how much they save, where every ruble goes. And they don't panic because they have a map. Financial tracking isn't about rigidity. It's about freedom. You're not afraid of a number if you know it. Principle 9. Keep a money diary and you'll see your life change. Get a notebook, application, Excel. Each week, write down 4 numbers. How much came in, how much went out, how much you put away, how much you put in. It's going to be uncomfortable at first. You'll see how easy it is to give energy away where there's no return. But then, you'll gain control. You'll have self-respect. You'll start to see patterns. And that means changing them. Remember, what is monitored is transformed. Where there is attention, there is power. You probably know the feeling. Monday, a fresh start, a new budget, a new me. You're determined. This time, for sure. A week goes by and it's all blown. And no, you're not weak. You're just human. And human beings get tired. Rolls away, forgets. This is why the rich don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems that work regardless of their mood. Principle 10. Don't rely on discipline. Build processes. Willpower is create templates, set reminders, use routines as a backbone, remove decision-making, and replace it with a system. They don't need to talk themselves into it every day because it's already set up, because it's set up that way. Principle 11. Automate wealth. Automatic transfer to a savings account. Automatic investment once a month. Automatically record expenses. You don't even notice how the money starts working without your input. It's like putting your garden on auto irrigation. You don't think about every drop. You just water it. And one day there's a harvest. When you put your finances on autopilot, you stop hoping that this month will be power. You just take steps, even if you're in a hole yourself. Principle 12, small actions, big shifts. You won't get rich in a day, but if you save at least 5% every week, if you invest 1,000 rubles every month, if you read 10 pages every day, the magic of consistency happens. From the outside, it's as if everything is the same, but inside, you are already a different coordinate system. It is not maybe I will get lucky, but I have a working mechanism. Every rich man once didn't know where to start, but he started. Simple, repeatable, and he created a rhythm that works without tantrums, without rollbacks, without miracles. When you're working your ass off and the results aren't growing, it's the most demotivating experience. You give yourself 100%, and what you get in return is 3 pennies, fatigue, and a feeling of not being seen. And then you look at someone who works less but makes 10 times as much, and you ask, why? What's the secret? Is he smarter? Luckier? No. He just realized one important thing. Principle 13. Money doesn't come for effort, it comes for value. You can work 12 hours a day and be replaceable, or you can work 3 hours and be indispensable. People don't pay for how tired you are. They pay for what you know how to solve. Problem, a pain, a task they can't handle themselves. Effort is the fuel, but value is the transportation you take to freedom. Principle 14. Develop skills that make you money. This is where the 3% are being selected from the rest. They learn, not formally, but with purpose. They pump up what makes them in demand. You want more income? Then ask yourself the question, what skill, if I master it in the next 3 months, will open up a new level for me? It could be sales, communication, financial literacy, leadership, technology, project management, personal brand. Skills are the new currency, and each new skill is like moving to the next level in the game. Principle 15, value, opportunity, money. When you become valuable, money starts looking for you. You don't ask for it anymore. You're choosing. It could be a client who writes to you in direct mail, a partner who calls you to a project, a job that comes out of the blue. The world pays those who decide, not those who complain. Imagine you are standing on one leg. The wind is picking up. Rain. The ground beneath your feet is slippery. How long can you hold on? That's exactly how 97% of people live. They stand on one financial leg, the paycheck, and every time it shakes, their lives fall apart. Now imagine this. You're standing on 4 powerful legs. One is a little saggy, you're still stable. You're not panicking. You're choosing how to react, not saving yourself. Principle 16. One source of income is dangerous. No matter how much money you make, if you only have one stream, you're vulnerable. Lose your job, that's it. Got sick, that's it. Conditions change, panic. Rich people don't wait until a crisis to think about it. They build alternatives in advance. Principle 17. Build 4 pillars of income, like the legs of a table. 1. Work is the foundation, the things that make you money now. 2. Investments, the money that works for you. 3. Business or project, what you're building and scaling. 4. Passive income, something that doesn't depend on your time. Royalties, rent, courses, etc. You don't need everything at once. Start with your second leg, however small, but your own. Side income, a service, a digital product, counseling, and every time the money comes in, don't just be happy. Ask, how can I turn this into a system? Principle 18. Every source is like the root of your freedom. You don't just build money, you build choices. The ability to not put up with a toxic boss, the ability to leave, the ability to say yes to your dreams, not alone. I remember one entrepreneur saying, "My business didn't save me from all my problems, but it has given me a voice in my own life." That's what you build multiple incomes for. Not for the cars, for the freedom to have a voice. You can build a system. You can start investing. You can make money at 3 jobs. But if you feed your mind with garbage, it will all fall apart. Most people live with a head full of other people's thoughts, news, scandals, memes, discussions about things they can't change. And in that background, they try to build wealth. What do you think will come of it? Principle 19. Self-education is your greatest asset. If you want money, learn not from those who talk, but from those who have done. 10 minutes a day, every day, and in 3 months you'll think differently. Book, audio, podcast, video breakdown. One insight that changes your entire strategy. Investing in yourself is not a buzzword. It's a technology. Because your head is your financial account, and the richer the ideas inside, the richer the numbers outside. Principle 20. Without clear goals, you're just a busy person. You might as well be in motion. They don't just run, they build a route. And they take at least one step every day. You don't have to change everything. You need to take one action a day that aligns with your vector. One step is in the direction of growth. One choice toward clarity. This is the path of wealth. You've traveled this path. Now you have 20 principles that are used by those who are not just making money, but rewriting their financial destiny. But knowledge is not power. Power is in action. And that's exactly what you're going to do now, in the finale. Because I promised you a practice that will turn on your mind, body, and energy, and it's coming. You finished it, which means you're not just a casual viewer. You're the kind of person who feels like you can't go on like this. You don't just want change, it's time to create them. By now, you know what 3% does. They pay themselves first. Think strategically, not emotionally. Learn, keep records, build a system. Take one step a day, every single day. No tantrums, no backsliding, no what-ifs. But here's the question. Do you just listen or do you stand up? Here's one practice I promised at the beginning. Do it right after the video, not later, not in the evening, not after coffee. Practice. The restart ritual. Open your notes or notepad. Write down 3 things. What was the most painful thing about this video? What was the most honest? What will you start doing today? Highlight one action you will do 7 days in a row. A simple choice, a simple step. Examples. Keep a financial tracker. Read for 10 minutes about money. Set aside 10% of any income. Cancel one emotional purchase per day. Write a promise to yourself, right now, as if you're writing it to your future self. I choose to grow. I choose to see. I choose to get out of the 97%. This is more than motivation. It's an entry point into a new financial identity. Now it's your move. Don't just turn off that video. Turn off the old script. Take a picture of your note. Make a pledge. And if you want, share it in the comments. Because that's where the movement begins. Remember, you're not poor. You're not lost. You're not late. You just didn't have a system until now. Now you do. Which means everything that happens from here on out is your area of influence. Think like 3%. Act like the 1%. Live like the 0.1%. Your next chapter starts right now. Make it worth $1 million.